Hello and welcome to day 2 of the video blog with Wayne and
Jillian.
yeah, where projects come along. And today we wanted to talk about, I decided I've been doing a dialogue blog series called Ending Money Madness with Wayne and Yeshua. And today was the last day of that, so I had some feelings come up around that. And Yeshua, I hold as an ascended teacher, and coming from a long-standing Christian background in my history, Jesus was, of course, the Son of God and the Savior of the world, and someone who I believe to be my personal Savior. And that took a deep and radical shift for me, where I can still feel an energy and a heart and a wisdom and a voice that I chose to call him in his original Hebrew name, as he's also known as Yeshua, just to differentiate that from the Jesus of Christianity to the ascended teacher of today. And I found years ago that I could take pen and paper and write out a question and wait for a response back. I think it was first modeled to me by Neil Donald Walsh and his books, Conversations with God. And in that same format, I found that I could walk through something that I was wanting insight or guidance on, and I would get a profound response back. And my first experience with that was so many years ago. And then this fall, I did a 90-day series with Yeshua. And it was profound.
And I'll put the link here so that you can go read that and take that in.
And there was people really, really deeply touched by that series. And it was 90 consecutive days. It was meant to be transparent, just what I'm really going through and experiencing. We went down different paths of metaphysical understanding and heart and passion. And then it arose this spring that I wanted to do something around money, and I wanted to do it with Yeshua. And we did, and it was, again, profound and powerful. And today there was a variety of feelings coming up around just feeling it being the conclusion after 18 days.
Right.
There was so much in it to digest and actually live into and walk into and establish deeper in my own life. And I felt also in the lives of the people following the blog. Like they were going, wow, I gotta reread this.
It's not just something that you read and take in mentally. It begins to transmute something. Because his energy invites you, it provokes, and it invites you to think and feel differently. Whatever the topic is, everything from relationships to the environment to money. And you're there's so many layers of it too. You're kind of taking it on one layer, and then there's another layer, and you read it again and there's another layer, and it's really profound that way.
One of the big feelings that was driven home throughout the entire series was feeling into what is your currency. What's the frequency, the heart frequency, the aliveness, the transparency frequency coming from your own heart to yourself.
Right.
And that's, in the deepest sense, that's your true currency. That's your power, your life force.
Right.
Your money situations and the money situations we've created collectively with which to transact exchange are based on that personal currency, where on the inside of us, where either scarcity or abundance or somewhere in between is what's living inside of us. So that really opened out a profound, different way of feeling what is our personal currency. And as just one of the subjects we explored. And profound, challenging statements came each day, discussion and statements that really, when you sit with, they go, whoa, this rocks my world. And then it just felt naturally we wanted to move into this video blog project. And it also felt like it was digestion time to incorporate that. So
because there's so much to incorporate around it.
Yeah, it really is.
There's one thing I want to say about this experience of you communicating with Yeshua, is that I wasn't raised Christian, and I didn't have a relationship with Christ, and I certainly didn't have a relationship with the church's picture of Lord and Savior and what I call the hymn God. I just didn't feel any resonance with it, and it just wasn't up for my soul to feel any resonance with it. I think I sort of let that go a few lifetimes ago and started back on a path of more the divine feminine. But I feeling this Yeshua energy through you, the biggest thing that it brings up in me is that he's such a teacher. In his nature, he's also a student, because any powerful teacher is also a student of life, a student of the divine, a student of you. Sometimes he would say, "Wow, Wayne, you got it going on," you know. And the other thing about him is that his language is so he meets you where you are. He talks to you in your language. So rather than, I feel like the Bible is some antiquated language, even the language is a barrier. It's like when you read Shakespeare, and I don't understand a thing he's saying. It was written in such a different time, and it doesn't feel relevant. That's my biggest issue. But when you feel Yeshua's energy, he's all about relevancy. He's tracking Bitcoin.
Poignant.
You know, he's tracking what's going on in alternative currencies, and he's eager, almost it feels like, to join us in a way, to reincarnate again. But that was the thing that struck me the most, is my student, the heart of my student would just, I want to be, I want to sit by his fire. And at the same time, he empowered your teacher, who's always about showing you your bigness and your power. Not power over others, but the power inside of you. And I feel like this empowerment, the church disempowers having this relationship with him and his energy.
Yeah, because the framework you put around this access that we all have, that's really like to impress upon you today to try this yourself. Simple pen and paper or on a computer keyboard, to just have a dialogue, a conversation where you bring what's coming from your heart, wait for the response, type and write it out. But that, I was feeling I was raised in a Christian home, and so I put a Christian frame around that access.
Yeah.
And so I could, something that I called God, I felt access to, and I put a Christian frame around it. And so that, I hung on dearly to that frame until I was done with it. But the access was still there. I was just done with the frame. Were you going somewhere? I don't want to cut you off. That was the only point I was going for in the moment.
I just wanted to say, though, that in SoulFullHeart, yes, we invite you to write out a dialogue. But in SoulFullHeart, what we do with people is we connect you with the part of you, the part of your soul, that's guarding this access, and has very good reason for guarding it, and particularly from past lives of persecution and wounding and abuses and all kinds of reasons. There's epic reasons. And we call this part your daemon. And a daemon, the word daemon is a very old word. Socrates used it to describe he called it his inner voice, inner guidance, his muse. We connect that to the divine and Yeshua, ascended teachers, angels, all of those kind of frequencies. And the daemon is guarding us from accessing that. And so it's actually a negotiation with your daemon that opens out this access. So you've been negotiating for a couple of years now to be able to have this kind of fluidity. Wayne has the fluidity that he does because his daemon is okay with it.
It's actually kind of a strange experience to a part of me still to feel, to be okay with this kind of access.
Is that part your daemon that still struggles?
Yeah. feeling the difference, feeling a bit vulnerable, feeling that it's so out there. To say I'm having a conversation with Yeshua. And so it's this leap of permission
Yes.
into the place, I feel it is into the place where our imagination lives. But that freedom to just be there and to get over that question, is this real or not?
But you had to, do you feel the point I'm making, which is you had to negotiate that to get there. This isn't an exercise, is what I'm saying. Oh, go talk to Yeshua. It's the inner work that you did that opened this out.
To get to the place where I could self-permit and self-certify that I hold this as true and real. And
the worthiness you had to hold.
And the whole mental question, is that even real? Who knows what voice you're talking to? Christians would have a concern that I was accessing some malevolent spirit of some kind, because it would be outside of their picture of what?
The devil.
Yeah. And that all of that just melts away and becomes immaterial as you feel the intimacy of it, the heart of it, the passion of it, and you feel how it groundedly moves and shifts deep changes in your life.
When we're working with someone, we offer that all of us have access. We're sacred humans. We're children of the divine. So of course we have access. It's not a question of that. It's how are you relating to that access? How is your daemon relating to that access? What wounding is going on in your soul history? And when we work with soul history and past lives, we don't just read it out, we feel it. So it becomes, we'll be talking a lot more about this, I'm sure, in this series, but it becomes real and palpable to feel.
The feeling ground becomes the self-certifying ground, not some other outer authority that says, yes, that's accurate and that's inaccurate.
Exactly. This is all blooms inwardly, inside of you. And so the connection feels inside of you somehow, even though you're accessing an energy, an ascended energy, it's all contained here. That's how I feel. I mean, you sit over there and you're journaling with him, and life's going on.
Yeah. In another way, it's
ordinary.
It's so ordinary. The fact that your heart continued beating now and again and again and again, we've left off wondering about how the magic of that happens.
The ordinary miracles.
The ordinary. And so, but really our connection to source or to the divine or to guides is no different. That it shouldn't be such a surprise to any one of us that someone would claim it, or that when you would read it that you would have a profound sense of, holy shit, this is really hard-hitting.
We're really trying to take all the woo-woo out of it, but we're also acknowledging that there's deep subconscious existential reasons for blockage to access.
Right.
So at the same time, that's actually what grounds it in. That's what makes it not woo-woo.
Yeah, right.
Not transcendent.
So we want to offer that it is for everyone, and you may find there's some work to do to uncover to where you feel an authentic connection with divine guides, with ascended teachers, with the divine. You've also done a lot of similar writings with the Mother.
Yeah, I'll talk about those for sure.
It's in that exact same vein of self-permission and of trusting your way there.
Yeah, feeling it in your heart. That feels good.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for joining us again.
That was day 2. Hope to see you tomorrow on day 3.
Okay.
All right.